Welcome everyone. We are going to do a stretch class today with a little bit of muscle toning. This is a routine I did with some family friends after a 7-hour drive the other night. I thought it would be a nice thing to put up on YouTube. Let's go ahead and since we're standing, we'll start with a little pat down. So you can pat the shoulder, kind of the pec and near the shoulder there, and work your way down the arm. Go up and down the arm and do the inner and outer arm. Lift the arm, do the ribs. Switch to rubbing the joints, rub the wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Very good. Let's do the other arm. Oh, actually, let's start with the chest. There we go, and work down the arm. A little extra on the arm won't be bad. Inner and outer arm. Very good. Arm up, do the ribs. Work the wrist. Elbow. Shoulder. And then do the torso. Start high and finish low. Work down the legs. And do the inner and outer legs. Do the backs of the legs, bend the knees. Come on up, do the glutes, lower back. Swing the arms to get the mid back. And then tap the upper back, trapezius shoulder blade area on both sides. Very good. We're going to go ahead and take our first upward salute. So go ahead and arms lift, abs in, and exhale, downward dog. Maybe have knees bent for both the forward bend and the downward dog. Lift the hips up. And knees down. Roll the back a few times. And then straightening out the back, right foot forward, right knee above the ankle, the runner's lunge. This is one of the best stretches for after a long car drive, because the thing about sitting and just feeling tense in the car is that the hip flexors tend to tighten up. And so this will help to release that. If you can, you do the best to lengthen your spine. Deep breath. Might even come up and hold the thigh. That will help to lengthen the spine out some more. Very good. And then switch legs. Left knee up, knee in line with the ankle. Deep breath. Do your best to have a nice lifted spine. Fingertips can work out. Lifting and folding your arms on your thigh can work out really nicely, although it does put a lot more weight into the hip flexor muscle. And notice how you feel. See, on this side, I feel this hip flexor is tighter. So at home, if that's the case for you, you can always stretch a little bit longer on that tight side or do a second round, do 2 more moderate rounds. For now, I'm going to try and keep the sides relatively equal, about a 5 count experience for both. And we'll glide back to hands and knees. 1 more downward dog. And knees down. Lower all the way. Face down. Reach back to the feet and inhale, locust pose. This is really good for building muscle tone in the low back. It also lengthens the hip flexors a little bit and it opens up the chest. It's really good for helping to improve and fix posture. Exhale, release. After a breath or two, we'll try it again. We can lift the hands if you want, and that will open up the chest a little bit more. Nice deep breath. Exhale, release. Very good. Next, we're going to do the Sphinx pose where we have the elbows under the shoulders. And again, this is very good for undoing bad posture. Long periods of time in the car, oftentimes our back is not very supported. Cars typically don't have the best lumbar support, so we do the back strengthening, the supported back bends with the Sphinx. And of course, we breathe. Deep breath, smooth breath. Sometimes I start my videos with a lot of instruction on breathing, and sometimes we just sort of get right to it. But I'm always wanting students to breathe deep. Come on down. Use the core and lift. Downward dog. Yeah, very good. Knees down. Next, we're going to sit and widen the legs in a straddle position. I was teaching this to some friends I was staying with on my road trip to California, and they were mentioning that sometimes it's just not very open, and remember that's perfectly fine. A small straddle, a really wide one, something in between is perfectly fine. My secret is if I have a carpet, I get my heels sort of dug into the carpet, and then I push my hips forward, and that kind of naturally widens. But going wider doesn't necessarily mean that you have the best experience. You're going to stretch to one leg, hold the shin at first, and maybe eventually hold the foot. And take deep breath. Other side. Remember to start gradually, maybe just holding the shin, and eventually going deeper. Breathe deep and notice how you feel. Good. And bring the legs a little closer. Roll the femurs a bit. And then lift the arms. Draw into the core. Lift the chest. And then stretch. And release the forward bend. Next, we're going to lay on our back. Have the feet together, the knees open for butterfly stretch. I like to put my hands under my head, but any position of the arms that works for you is good. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. You're welcome to stay here for the next several minutes and do like a reclined meditation here. Otherwise, after about a minute of doing the stretch or about 5 deep breaths, we're going to come upright and take a little seated quiet time. Gradually bring the legs together. Make your way up. I'm ready to sit cross-legged now. Sit nice and tall. Let's just close the eyes for about 7 breaths, about a minute or two. Just a little bit of quiet time. And gradually come back to the body and perhaps sit with a different leg or forward or whatever is a comfortable seat for you. We'll do a couple of closing stretches. We'll take the right ear, right shoulder, really let the left shoulder sink. Other side. and come back to center. And we'll conclude our stretch session. Thank you all very much. This was short and to the point. Hopefully it was just what you needed today. Remember, there's an archive with longer videos in various types of forms: core work, vinyasa, strengthening, slow hatha. The list goes on. So appreciate y'all. There's a link in the description for Venmo or PayPal. Send some money for class, especially if you do them on a regular basis. And it's also helpful if you comment and share, subscribe, all the things. So if you don't send the money, do the other things, leave a positive comment, say thank you, be gracious, and I look forward to serving the community more in the near future. Take care. Thank you. Bye.